Welcome to Public Access Poetry. Tonight I'll be reading first. My name is Charles Bernstein. And the first poem that I'll be reading is called As If the Trees by Their Very Roots Had Hold of Us. Strange to remember a visit really not so long ago, which now seems finally past. Always it's a kind of obvious thing, I guess, amazed by that cycle. That first you anticipate a thing and it seems far off. The distance has a weight you can feel hanging on you. And then it's there, that point, whatever, which now, while it's happening, seems to be constantly slipping away, like the sand through your fingers in an old movie, until you can only look back on it, and yet you're still there, staring at your thoughts in the window of the fire you find yourself before. We've gone over this 1,000 times, and here again, combing that same section of beach or inseam for that, I'm no longer sure when or exactly where, and yet the peering, unrewarding as it is in terms of tangible results, seems so necessary. Hope, which is, after all, no more than a splint of thought projected outward, looking to catch somewhere. What can I say here? That the ease or difficulty of such memories doesn't preclude that harsher necessity of going on always in a new place, under different circumstances. And yet, we don't seem to have changed. It's as if these years that have gone by are all a matter of record. But if the real facts were known, we were still reeling from what seems to have just happened, but which, by the accountant's keeping, occurred years ago. Years ago. It hardly seems possible. So little really has happened. We shore ourselves hour by hour in anticipation that soon there will be nothing to do. Pack a sandwich and let's eat later. And of course, the anticipation is quite appropriate, accounting, for the most part, for whatever activity we do manage, eternally buzzing over the time, unable to live in it. Maybe if we go up a ways, we can get a better view. But of course, in that sense, views don't improve. In the present moment, if we could only see it, which is to say, to begin with, stop looking with such anticipation. What is unfolding before us puts to rest any necessity for progression. So, more of these tracings, as if by some magic of the phonetic property of these squiggles, or does that only mystify the power of presence, which is, as well, a sort of postponement? Loose shoes. That's the trouble around here, through which, asking as it does a different kind of space, who much like any other relives what's noise, a better shoe, plants its own destination, shooting up at a vacant which is forever unreconstituted wedding party, rituals in which, acting out of a synonymous disclosure that here loses all transference, falling back to, in, what self-same dwelling is otherwise unaccounted for. They make several steps. Alone the boot straps only an extra heaviness, but for all the world knows the better in the offing. Walking around, trying to keep a stiffened sleeve, coffee pouring over all manner of suit. He beats us all the way down there, since, not Russian, we no longer care about big cigars. A patterned sock hugs the boot, surfaces several spiraling reminders to fill up the glasses and get the next carapace over with. begin the quiet, which always seems imposed. Caravans of blank personalities file before judgment, choice a matter of boosting the inseam and making ends due. A series of truncated tips, fibers emergent from large industrial rolling machines, mahogany solids vertically stacked aside blue jeans, soap bubbles, starry eyes. My own best memory is dried, sits happily amidst cushions and packages from Altman's. A serial horror that gradually resolves into what have you, makes speakers recircuit their origin, projecting from which chair, sideways, and put away in your pocket. My hand claims its own boundaries. Pretension, fits of troubled labor described as such, sordid business, at last remain on the other side, noiselessly. It releases its own tension, pinstripe after boulevard, having heard all about it. I went over very well by them, he thought. No, this seems much the more graceful. Embers indiscernibly fly by and seem to illuminate the particulate nature of the air. Dress warmly, making a film about you, us. I feel only a temporary relief. The idea of recurrence, temporary nonsense, to make a way seem possible by an accountant's time, real time by any other standard, and yet, in a way, irreproducible, which hedge gives space to breathe a little more freely. The next poem is called Ballet Russe. Every person has feeling. It is all the same. I will travel. I love nature. I love motion and dancing. I did not understand God. I have made mistakes. Bad deeds are terrible. I suffered. My wife is frightened. The stock exchange is death. I am against all drugs. My scalp is strong and hard. I like it when it is necessary. It is a lovely drive. A branch is not a root. Handwriting is a lovely thing. I like czars and aristocrats. An airplane is useful. One should permanently help the poor. My wife wants me to go to Zurich. Politics are death. All young men do silly things. The Spaniards are terrible people because they murder bulls. My wife suffered a great deal because of her mother. I will tell the whole truth. I love Russia. I am nasty. I am terrified of being locked up and losing my work. Mental agony is a terrible thing. I pretend to be a very nervous man. This next poem is called St-Mk. Graphemic hinges discourse, reordering signs of few little, which speed and which intersentential connections theirs splendid, here too, in not forced stuff, the rest of piecemeal spins off ethical intrude with that kind of schizophalic categories enfolding a proper place, fixist opting for a so fine isn't turn face to a inevitable picturesque balk, desire tokened by topology, the C or Verfremdungseffect, autonomous explosions taste as blocks circling, like star, flamingo, air, leap, as if we had not gleaned in a possible vectorate these, the issued canopy as scratch, rune, potential a sonority, the pull, buckle me with a pat, I leap up, sights ideally, being happens, not Spartan, polishes, to face, egg, am, visit, subdue, impulse, hilarity. This next is called Roseland. You need some way of, some set of. You live in a place. It isn't much. You move out. You have to. You live at the edge. Your memory has let you down. A kind of chaos when you go, if you face it. This axis, the human order, more or less. You have a map. You put yourself in position and try to. This is a human construction. You try out the space. Try to. You drive on them. Go straight. One might imagine. Only grasping. A pity. A pile of rocks, more or less. And place the wander for, not proceed, is still a little an edge, unless the habit, land of, boomerang, say, carvings, all of the circles, so that what we have is a network, and that's all. A sequence of camping sites is arbitrarily adapted, which was shape, very much a matter of there will be a woman, of anxiety, which is to the career, some premonition, the appearance of white, the fixing, when the time comes, edicts and statues, in some unexplained, has the nostalgia, and that's as talking of some other blind man, exists in space, an overall kind of thing, can't flip, or more information of any kind. The passage is nothing, one thing in particular, a technique of erasing, and people could start. It's not two. That is real, and how it, or you hope, you get ready, you work on it, a literal culture, a piece of sand, in such an elaborate way, an art of naming, a kind of, that is danced, as among, a residue, from the milk, notion of a goes in, of entrance, if you use stone, as required, in such a system. You use language, or some set of, if you face it. Long trails of cars returning from the beach. I saw the power of the word in legend, cast shadows and I hid under, lasting, crevices making jetty markers stretching out to sea. An infinite strip, lengths landscaped against a red sun, might in any case be lustrous. The experience of the citation I find myself in, a book popping up and getting out, searches for its last exposure. You get up, you want to. The day begins like any other. The sky mists, a pale obscurity fog. Sustenance consists, break signs against rocks, support mechanisms in which dirt, field, soft, is sustained, propping up a checkerboard of items, products then, as if for itself could be more a fashion of holding back. We gain nothing, for nothing is disguised. Long trails of cars returning from the beach, a congestion of sand, fume, desire, packed by the interest that a particular pollution will give way to some more sensible sight. It continues. The wire pops from underneath the road, far into New Jersey. An idea of green that keeps going, excruciating in the habiting of a space you can't move within, defined specifically with an intention to give up use for whatever length of time can be sustained, which means preconceived, this annoyance that you get it wrong that jerks through us. Person makes coercion, as if by force a certainty can be achieved. These gaps jump too far, a fetid decay of smoldering ideas stacked up like dead newspapers hoarded for a conviction that there was past, that something previous, prior to, the day before, was nonetheless at some times news, its weather, a movement of press that overtakes us, in which we are cradled. I ask for this memory, not to think, breaks apart, lets be an order, sinks into, is it only a folding with which enthusiasm realizes several glimpses? Motion to make a glance, an array of pass by, is constantly for the reaching, makes plain a hungering for a place within that neighborliness always just outside our own, a mutual exclusion, standing at the beach and Peter allowing the cameras to snap.
I'm Hannah Weiner. We are reading from the Clairvoyant Journal, 1974, which is soon to be published by Angel Hair Books. I see big words. They appear on my forehead, in the air, in space, on the page, on the typewriter. The big words are shouted by Sharon Matlin, and the little words, which sometimes make nasty comments I wouldn't applaud, are read by Margaret de Courcy. I read myself. This is March. Sharon begins.
Go for a samadhi.
Feel different.
First chakra, begin. Begin with me.
Hooray.
Get out.
It's a
Joe.
musical, not an order.
Come soon. No. I passed. No.
Pass the
Paper.
wine.
You have orders.
Fix the page.
Wrong bar.
Period.
Too late, you.
Met Michael at the Tin Palace.
Party.
Free pass.
Omit.
To La Mama.
Good night, Bernadette.
Period.
Begin.
Period. Going backwards.
9:45.
See?
Go out. Where? You try Sabasics first.
Agent London.
Action.
Don't hesitate.
Miss Tin Palace. See Michael. Go words.
He knows an agent.
Wow.
Get linoleum.
Talk to Marjorie.
See Joe. Hello to Bob.
Conscious person.
No. Now. Single. Donuts.
Eat the glazing.
No. Double day. Popular. So else. Wow.
He.
Drunk.
Leave more space. Don't underline. That's an order.
So what?
Take your
Serious
laughs.
now. Don't
Period.
hesitate.
Period. Tonight followed.
All wrong.
Period.
Go to bed. No periods. Orders. Go to bed.
Glad get out is.
New York. Don't repeat. 3 months. Don't sit down. Don't perspire. Don't do it. Leave. Get it? Get it.
At door. Known.
E. Mother's word. Be careful. Drunk also.
Here.
Where?
Bed all right. Don't perspire.
Here. Show.
No.
Don't explain. Noni.
Go tomorrow.
Explain the interference.
It stops you from
Bed.
doing what Sharon, what the other words tell you.
Omit.
Period.
Don't go. Be a fool.
It's 7.
First chakra.
See clock.
Don't explain the chakras now. Reese knows. Go to Bernadette's.
It's 7.
7.
Wow. Begin.
Going to Phil Glass concert.
Popular wife. Go tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Joe's musical and a party.
Don't
period.
go both.
This is silly.
2 months.
Don't comment yourself.
So humble enough.
Rosemary is back in town.
No more periods.
Read.
Think.
Einstein's definition of thinking.
Bernadette.
Doing pre-thought thinking.
So am I.
Says the refrigerator in the pink bulb.
Get out.
Change the bulb. Bernadette.
Mayor experiments.
This book is mind control. The
Walk.
Bernadette.
language.
Excommunicate her words. So through.
It goes through the way.
I quote.
To destroy a word is to change its
Bitters. Too heavy. Cut it short.
systematically derange the eye
Sis,
hanger.
I must do it. Slow. I quote.
Pick any word at random. Let mind play around until ideas pass. Try
Through.
this with so.
With so.
So with.
Reese.
Reese. It's charmings.
Word. She reads my words. He.
Behave yourself.
Saw me. Your novel. Cut it short. Please pass the page. 3 more.
Space.
When it says 2 more weeks, it means Phil. 2 more days, 2 hours,
2 months or when? 1 more year.
Appears.
At Phil's.
Concert.
Saw.
Obey Charlemagne.
30 feet long.
Don't over-obey.
As I was
Secret knowledge.
washing the kitchen wall.
Don't
period.
obey Charlemagne.
Now.
Break front.
What is a
Cloudy publicity agent.
obey? Must have one. Sharon.
Genius. No more proof.
If pronoun.
I.
Go break front.
Make it funny to Avenue A.
Don't get it.
Period.
An hour. Lists. Good for you. Good for an hour. Go to Ave.
The chalk mule doesn't.
What a woman. Make suggestions.
Have jade eyes. That's
A poem I wrote.
about Yucatan.
So what? I was.
Climb the.
Don't quote. More money. Third voice.
Is in underline.
Oh, I hear it.
Quote the poem.
Temple of the.
Shut
And
up.
sat on the sacrificial Sharon stone behind the chalk mule. Period. Dear,
Stone. Don't mention names.
don't
Quote.
remember. See.
Grace.
Get angry at who?
What a chalk mule is. Period.
You don't rewrite the poem.
In little letters.
You can
period.
see the steps.
You see the steps. Great. They appear as you type.
Break front.
I have orders for you. A vessel
Another life.
indicated.
Don't go. Be sorry.
Can sit here and wonder I or go to
Sit.
Avenue A.
Wear this.
Red sweater.
Powerful. Lucky day. Leave the powerful sources.
No
Period.
more periods.
Could type or put the book away.
Finish July.
Single man.
Beg
Type
of orders.
Anna.
I hear.
Explain.
That phrase in Michael's voice.
2 months. Stop it. 2 months.
Sometimes I hear voices. Go to Avenue A. Fine.
Call
A
Raymond.
store. Don't explain anything else with that across the door. $5 antique chair.
Worth cut. Obey Monday.
Why did pronoun see
Reese Chatham.
across the entrance too?
A store.
Smile, Hannah. Sort of an erased money.
I Reese.
Doesn't call, but
Safe.
does. See? A big
Don't.
in the air.
Jingle bells.
Richie said,
Don't commit it. Emanate.
Reese always had the same energy level.
Not always.
I shout, responding with a laugh.
Sorry, Reese.
Eliana,
Work hard.
we don't have much time left, so 75.
Really terrific
That's my
announcement.
age.
We lost. You try harder. Take the phone off the hook.
I do.
See, 4 o'clock.
It's 4 o'clock.
Proof enough. Be like
We
Phil.
have 4 minutes
Transcend
left.
grass.
Reese comes over,
Spiritual energy.
blows from his chest. Hear his voice say,
Horrid.
it lights up with the same
Very positive.
light. He explains,
You won't believe it.
first chakra,
Memory.
unconscious,
Public.
forces.
Don't eat people.
Told him how the forces showed me all my feelings with words in order to overcome. He said it with
Hemorrhoids.
no, another trip. How can I describe anything when all these interruptions keep
Arriving.
sharing? And then tell me I don't describe it well.
Well.
Forgive
Peggy's
them.
voice interrupts. Big.
Me. Countdown.
Got that for days, and yesterday it didn't stop.
Go to countdown. Go to countdown.
Get
Call
me.
David.
He isn't home.
Get.
Countdown.
Finally.
Go to
At
countdown.
the door, so, okay, I go see these maroon velvet pants. I'm not.
Buy.
$40 pants?
Bloomingdale's.
All over again. I leave.
Go to countdown.
Refuge. Get in a taxi. Safe. Start for home. No peace. Voices again. Get out.
Go to countdown.
Okay, it's only money. Go back and buy the pants. It's better than seeing
Go to countdown.
for the rest of my life. Don't make
Peace.
any gestures on television, so they fit well.
Until Michael Cooper.
For a while I tried to get away with
Negative.
I see words by counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7 while breathing.
Go to. Make clear.
Ugh.
Far out. Blissful coming.
At the door,
Reese. Reese important.
notes.
Have a double.
Image of pink embroidered pillowcase appears on blanket. Get it out.
Go now.
Girlfriend negative.
Ta-ta, mother.
Peggy, when I was 2,
Eat
Janet.
enough.
she's fasting.
Try harder.
Across her chest and
Dress warm.
across Charlemagne's groin. Joan's head says,
Laugh.
as she.
Laughs.
Quink thickly. Say it.
Reese
Rhythm. Very important.
says radio.
Describe.
Go ahead.
In Charlemagne's white pants.
Wool.
White hat.
Imitated.
Hawaii.
Joan Arakawa.
Well, though.
More thoughts going back 3 days.
You won't obey. Pork chop. Buy them.
Pig.
And pork chop collar along the edge of
Frying.
Not apple pie.
in pink and white sash.
Orgasm.
Get excited.
Jump.
Death. Eat.
Go to a museum.
Go to a museum. Eat
It
grapefruit.
writes itself.
Read
Can't get to
Peg-
space it.
It's a nice arc.
Read Peggy's part. Try praying. Our Father who art.
Right over.
A song. Here we go round the mulberry bush, John.
Grapefruit, John.
The mulberry
Mush.
Give hop. Grapefruit.
is the name of Yoko Ono's book.
Apologize.
This is an old book. It's on a Ringo Star 2 record, 2 R's. Called Jerry.
Miss Rockefeller. Miss David Anton. Snowing in Vermont.
Delightful.
Dream about Jason Epstein. Very huge, loud.
Shut up.
In his office.
John.
I rejoice. Laugh.
Describe Charlemagne.
How old? 33. Spiritual discipline. Not in dollars. Not too negative. No money.
Money.
Describe Charlemagne. He plays the piano.
Low income. Wise.
In a row behind each other.
Verbal vibration.
A lot of.
Go to church. See David. Go
Go.
and teach.
Thought I'd like.
Negative.
Rampachet.
Go wed.
Fuck off. He speaks fry sat san.
That's a pun. Apple pie.
Liquor.
A lot of wine drunk.
Dreams.
Say David. A lot of words.
Children.
Don't explain.
Not all right.
More margin.
Twos.
Period. No more periods.
Answer.
It's
Drunk.
since Rampachet came in town, the words do up and over and down.
Drunk.
Reminds
Who?
a big deep.
My thought.
Pops off a big
Go.
Radcliffe.
It's important.
It's important.
Reminds
Who?
this typewriter.
Heard.
Saw heard.
Do it. Drunk. Fry. Go son.
Right now.
What about tonight and sat?
Night. Meet Reese. Complete. It said long talk with Luba.
Noni.
No.
Mother's slang for
For?
nose.
Think of it.
Big surprise.
Save the space. Not all right.
Big print. Holy Bible.
Miss
Hallelujah.
Charlemagne.
Modern art. Bird. Do the museum stiff.
Stuff.
Crazy day.
Sharon reads this
Drink
page
coffee.
all by herself.
Go to the museum.
big girl.
They don't.
I
You
won't
nice.
interrupt.
Across Jasper
Shut
John.
up.
Sis. White numbers.
I read
Coffee.
this page
You
myself.
don't come screwing around. Explain
Peggy doesn't
come.
get a chance.
Not love, says Morris Louis Dungarees. One more
Don't
page.
interrupt Sharon.
Big light. Don't interrupt. Too many Johns. End. Double.
I
Pink
don't even
sink.
know her, yeah.
In Guernica's colors, a portion of it appears in color. Beatle. To
Just make
me.
jokes.
Hey, sis. Fantastic.
Isn't she good?
Bauhaus stairway. Which arc? Which chakra? See through one
Sharon
job.
has a blouse
Don't
on.
complain. Fish Arakawa, get out of here. Don't come alone to a part. Feel the
That's a
heat
party.
from in front of the ARP. Powerful. Art Digest's Crazy Woman. Sit down.
Sharon
In
shouts
danger.
loud.
See that? Not honest in white stone. Leg appears green.
I read to my little book next.
Don't cry. You. Okay. Feel the table. Holla, you won't believe. Art not weak. Behave. Poof yourself.
Peggy
One
has a
more.
dangerous comment
Beautiful.
at the end.
Save you. Design lingerie.
Hannah,
Do.
shuts up.
Okay. This afternoon. Okay, Lamont. Whoopee. Tantra. Fantastic. Go hit Charlemagne. All this in front of Art's human concretion. Not the other, says Floral Nude. Discontinue laughing.
Terrific, old girl.
Peggy, shut up. This book stinks. I wrote this book last week. All these little words things have changed a little, and I only write down what I see now. I don't interrupt myself with me. I read, I enjoy ourselves mostly. Motley, Hannah, changes color. Motley squeaks. It has to have the wacky races to get drunk. Science, that's a habit. I reads my journal pages twice. I dream of science, Indian friends beloved. More, the definitive proof of a causal connection. Complete this sentence. Between, Hannah, you're reading too fast. Protein, phosphorylation, etc. remains one of dopey science. Don't complete the sentence. You should watch a research scientist sometimes. Let Charles read. Read a poem, Charles. Finish the page.
Well,
Hannah, that's just stupid.
You can interrupt me at any point, all right?
No.
We'll do like a...
You read, Charles.
So not really visit, a remember to strange. It's always past, finally seems now, which ago long, that by amazed guess I thing obviously of kind. Seems it and thing, anticipate you first, that cycle. Feel can you wait, has distance, the off far, that there.
Charles completely.
It's then, and you on hanging, while now,
Continue laughing.
which, whatever, point. Away, slipping constantly, be to seems happening, it's until.
Don't joke.
Staring there, still your, yet, and it on back. Look, only, can you? Before yourself,
I finished
find
this
it,
page.
fire of the window in the
Pink.
thoughts
You must be
you're at,
mistaken, stupid.
that combing,
Oh, dear Hannah, I just
again
made
here,
period. I'm mistaken.
times thousand
I am
of this
skilled writer,
overgone
Charles.
weave. No, I'm that for inseam or beach of section same, peering the yet and where, exactly or when, sure longer, results tangible,
Period.
of terms in, is it as unrewarding, necessary,
Thank you, and
so
good night.
seems.
couple of seconds.
Say something.
Thought of splint, a than more all, after which is which hope,
Say goodnight, everybody.
where some catch looking. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Say good night.
Are we still on?